This is just Bob Bowman, and I'm coming back with another video. In this video, the topic is Do You? And before we get started with the topic, I want to go over something that my father told me. And he was saying that sometimes in life, you have to accept failures, especially if you put a lot of time, effort, and energy into it. And you did everything that you could to make it successful, and it still didn't come out successful. Sometimes you just have to accept that it's not meant to be. Now, some people, they dwell on that failure and they don't accept it, and they keep on beating a dead horse until it gets worse, and they can't take the mocking and the humiliation and the embarrassment of that failure. And some people, they allow that failure to ruin their lives, but you have to accept that failure, and you have to learn how to move on in the best way that you can move on in the situation that you're in. And it made me think about um, a time 23 years ago. I wrote this rap. That's actually, I came out with a CD, and nobody cared about that CD. I still remember one of the verses from that CD. And to me, it was good for that time period. This was back in late 2000. And like I wrote this song, and I was like, man, this is like a really good verse. And the verse went like this: I'm the real deal, son, blowing up like a giant star going nova. Manipulation is over. I don't care if you hate me, I still reign. Enough is enough, and it's time for a change. I say I'm strange and try to throw me back into the abyss and claim I don't exist. I've been here for years, my rise you fear. It's clear the end of the crap you slung is near. Me dying, that dream of yours I'm defined, but it made me strong from you trying. I'm tying loose ends to my life. Also, the woes financially I have, so I get a fine wife. Out of sight is my plan to be a man who highly stands. So down peace stare me instead of glance. Here's my chance to be a trendsetter, getting y'all fools' heads together to realize there be red bones forever. Some people will probably be like, that was all right. But some people be like, oh, that was pretty impressive. But overall, 23 years ago, nobody cared. And I tried a few more times after that, and I felt terrible, sometimes horribly. Um, but I still write certain stuff, like even recently I wrote something, and I wrote a song called Heaven, and I'll do a verse from that. And it goes like this: I gotta make it to heaven. I'm going through hell. People wish me well, but they hope I fail. I know some truth, but I cannot tell. Feeling trapped inside of the pits of hell. Belly of the beast is what they call it. No wonder why we smoke weed and alcoholics. I used to wish that I could stop the vision of how we all are trapped up in the system, and it ain't a damn thing I could do about it. Without a strong team that'll move around it, take over the game after we surround it. The walls crumbling down, enemies are mounted. Where did I hear that before? Walls of Jericho. Looking for God through me, a miracle. Just spitting the facts while I write material, proving my point without being too lyrical. You see that I still do my thing, but I understand that I can't continue to look for outside validation. I have to have confidence within myself. If I have confidence within myself that I'm doing the best that I can, and I'm doing whatever it is that I want, it doesn't matter if anybody outside of me appreciates what I do or not. As long as I'm happy with it, that's what I should be focused on. You see, and growing up, a lot of times we're not taught to have that confidence within us, regardless of what the outside situation happens to be. And we look for this outside validation. And sometimes people see that within us, and they use it to their advantage to take advantage of us. And then once they use us up as much as they can and mock us and isolate us and destroy whatever little ego that we had, they toss us to the wayside. You see, that's because we never learn how to build up that confidence within ourselves to know that even if things don't go out the way that we want it to go, that hey, we still all good as long as we alive, as long as we take care of our basic fundamentals. And what do I mean by that? I mean having a place to stay, a roof over your head, having some decent clothes to wear, having transportation, having food, you know, having some type of network, even if it's not a lot of people, some type of network of people that you can, talk to or bounce ideas off of, or possibly get um, some assistance with moving forward. As long as you have that, you'll be okay. That's the basic needs of everybody. And we might not ever get our wants fulfilled, but as long as we have our needs fulfilled, that matters more than anything else in this world for us individually, for me individually, I should say. I need to focus more on my needs getting met, other than focusing on what it is that I want to happen. Because sometimes what I want isn't the best thing for me, and that's the reason why it isn't happening for me. And it could be a tough pill to swallow, but that's life, and that's just the way that it is sometimes. And one thing that I want to say after explaining all that about me finding confidence within myself and me doing what it is I need to do for myself, I had took some time to get away from individuals that was constantly being negative towards me, that had this negative idea about me, that looked at me in a way that I didn't look at myself, and tried to force me to do things the way that they saw fit for me, even though I didn't see it fit for myself. And it was a painful journey. It was a painful journey because I was ostracized, I was mocked, I was humiliated publicly. I was going through a hard time financially, physically, and spiritually at that point. But it made me stronger. How did it make me stronger? It made me stronger because I got myself together a lot more than what I was back then. Like, I made the decisions that I needed to make in order to improve my life, to get myself out of that, to get savings, to be able to get my passport and travel, to take the time to self reflect on what it is that I needed to do to improve on myself without having to hear the outside talking heads coming down on me about every single thing that's wrong with me and how they think that I should improve my life. Because at the end of the day, it's my life and I'm in control of it. And I have to improve on it the way that best fits me so I can be content with the results of it. Even if I may never get the full results of what it is that I want, I have to do things my way at the end of the day. I cannot do it the way that other people outside of myself want me to do it. And with that being said, I stayed away from a lot of people. As a matter of fact, I had somebody, send me a message through social media recently that said that everybody is looking for me. Who that everybody is, I don't know, because they haven't let themselves know that they're looking for me. And one thing that I want to address and I want to say is that I'm not hiding from anybody. What it is that I'm doing is that I fell back and I accepted my shortcomings in life. And I'm learning how to deal with those shortcomings while overcoming all the setbacks that I had in order to be as successful as I possibly can be. And that's not being angry with anybody, even those that spread a lot of rumors and lies about me, that tried to destroy me, try to make me look like just this huge, huge bad guy. And I understand that I am a bad guy to some people because I'm not doing things the way that they want me to do it. But hey, that's a part of reality. We all don't do things the way that other people think that we should do it. There are people that won't ever do things the way that I think that it should be done. But hey, we just have to deal with what is. That's what I've been doing. And it's not hard to find me for whoever is looking for me. As a matter of fact, I still have close ties to certain people. Like actually, it's one person that I used to be on the wrestling team with growing up. He stays across the street from where I live at. So even though I don't live in the city of Chicago anymore, I'm still connected to certain individuals. I still frequent certain places within the city. So if you did your due diligence and research, you could find me. There are people that can reach out to me through social media if they really wanted to find me. I'm not hard to find. If they want to have a conversation with me, they can have a conversation with me. And I am open to it. But I've kept names out of it due to not wanting more drama. And you know what I'm talking about, like when I talked about the certain situations and circumstances that I found myself in the past, I kept names out of it because I'm not looking for any trouble. I'm just looking to stay to myself and be left alone while leaving those alone that don't want to be bothered with me. As a matter of fact, I'm at this point in my life where I don't care as much as I used to care anymore. As you can see, I used to keep my hair cut and used to look a certain way and be presentable, but I don't care about all that at this point in my life because I don't need to. I have nobody that I'm trying to impress. I'm not trying to get a whole bunch of women. I'm just trying to live my life the best that I can and staying away from all those that do not want to be around me. And if you want to squash the beef, all disrespect will have to be addressed. That's disrespect that I had to face. And if you felt like you were disrespected by me, you can address it too, as long as we do it in a way that's civil, like adults, and we can talk about it. We can get over it, squash the beef. But I just want to let you know that even if the beef is squashed, it doesn't necessarily mean reconciliation. We could squash the beef and not have any issues with each other, but that don't mean that we have to be buddy buddy and friends. You see, and if you're not willing to do that, I'm willing to still let everything go, but just not talk to you and not be around you because I don't want to be in the vicinity of individuals that do not like me. I'm okay with being by myself. It's totally fine with me. And even if I squash the beef and we have reconciliation, just understand that if I consider a certain situation a bad deal, and I'm talking about as far as relationships and things like that go, I'm not going to take it, regardless of what decision or what circumstances is going on. I'm not taking a bad deal. And if somebody looks at me as being a bad deal, I don't want them to take it either. I'm all about being okay with being good alone. And if you are still upset about me not taking a bad deal, if you still want to label me with negative terms, you can go ahead. Because at this point, I really don't care, but don't expect me to sit down and listen to that garbage because that's how you feel about me. I don't feel that way about me. So I'm not going to allow myself to accept being talked down to and being gaslit and being, just totally disrespected to my face if I don't have to. And even though I'm at this point to where I'm saying, hey, I'm just going to do me and I'm going to be myself, I understand that there are certain boundaries and I have to accept if I'm not accepted in certain spaces. You see, I'm probably doing me, but if certain women ain't trying to talk to me, I have to respect that. If I want the women that I'm not trying to talk to respect that as well. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not here to, put anybody down. I'm not here to say, oh, you know, we are like, you have to like what it is that I have to say because you don't. And I don't have to like what it is that you have to say. But there still has to be some type of respect towards each other to a certain degree where we're not crossing boundaries that's been placed by either party. As a matter of fact, at the end of this video, I'm going to show two examples of how not to think or how not to be or how not to act towards those that don't want to be around you, that don't respect you, is because all it's doing is bringing in more negativity. And one thing I want to say is that if you're in an environment where you're not liked and respected, you have to do your best to figure out a way to get out of that environment. Get your passport if you're having a hard time dating. Get out, travel, meet new people. Don't care about what everybody else is saying on this side. And the reason being is because they don't like you regardless of whether it is that you're doing everything to improve yourself or not. They want you to just fail and do things the way that they want you to do at the end of the day. So you can't continue to worry about that. You have to just do you. And that's the message that I have for those out here. It's just to do you. And I had to learn that when I came into this space and I had people like Dennis Sperlin that I listened to a lot. People like Black Ram 313, Black Mind, BGS Itmore, Man of Tomorrow, Red Lord Black Sigma. Who else? Coach Greg Adams, Angry Man. It's so many. Average Man Unplugged. There's so many people that have inspired me to get to the place that I am at this point. And the main thing I learned from those people is to do me, do what's best for me, while respecting how everybody else feel. And if I don't need to be around those people, don't be around them. And with that being said, this is just Bob Bowman. If you really appreciate this message that I'm giving out, please like, share, and subscribe to this video. And I'm out.
Great. Those will always deserve to be for rejecting nice guys like me.
Felt like anywhere I moved, he kept following me. So I recorded just in case he was trying to say anything or do anything to me. But I definitely didn't expect him to do this. Like, what the actual fuck? But then you notice that he goes over and does the same thing to this girl. And he'll crouch down low and pretend like he's doing something and then smell? I don't know. What are you doing? I'm so disgusted and I feel like really violated, even though you didn't touch me, but it just feels really gross and weird. And then I went up to the front to tell the lady because I didn't want him to do that to other people. And then as I was telling her, he was leaving. And so all she said that she could do was just tell the manager. I waited around a little bit because I didn't want to run into him.